अभी लाइव हो गया. Yes. Okay. So there are two ways of doing Ānāpānassathi. One way is observing the breath and observing the sensation. Okay, that is one way. Now what it does is that it makes your mind calm, which is correct. So this is a very good thing to do if we are very excited. Now let's say somebody has said something to me, or I have received a medal from Prime Minister. Both have the same problem, that it makes mind excited. Okay, so when the mind is excited, I need to do samatha. Otherwise the mind will keep on going here and there. Let's say somebody has felt very bad and somebody has said something to me which I don't like. Okay, and then what happens? My breath is long and it is heavy. You can observe. Okay, there are two things about the breath. One, it has mind in it. Another one, it has the body taking oxygen. There are two things which are there in the breath itself. So when we are disturbed, good disturbance, bad disturbance, a bad news coming and a good news coming, both of them create the same kind of excitement. One takes you to sadness, another takes you to happiness, essential happiness or sensual sadness. Let us say somebody has met with an accident, as an example, and you get a call. What is the state of the mind? The state of the mind is it is agitated. It's in an unconsolable position. So you immediately, how did it happen? Why it happened? So that if you see, we are in the we are heavy breathing or into a shallow breathing also. So with two things will happen. One, it becomes heavy and it becomes shallow. Shallow means we are breathing through chest. So I think both of you are medical people, so you exactly know what happens when it is shallow. That means the person will feel breathlessness. Why that happens is because the mind is completely disturbed. Same thing with COVID. Last year when people used to get Namo Buddhaya Kalpana ji.
नमो बुद्धाय सर.
कैसे हैं?
ठीक है ना सर, दिन भर बिजी है सर.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so when we have this mental agitation, like last year, people used to get RT-PCR test or whatever test, and then they used to get COVID positive. Even this year, in the early May, early April, when the cases were climbing in India and the number of patients increased, and then people are not getting beds, people are not getting oxygen cylinders and all that. What is the state of the mind? It's in fear. So when we are in fear, when we are concerned, when we are in pain, the breath changes. The first thing. And so you were taking the exam, so you can see that how anxious it would be. So your breath would be heavy.
Yeah, I could feel my palpitations also.
Yes, you can feel the palpitation. So that is the palpitation, feeling sweaty, feeling fatigued about, or hardness of the breath, and all of that requires samatha. Okay, so what is being brought about in the Vipassana course or in the Goenka course is very nice. The first 4 days, the person concentrates on the body and especially near the nostril. When the breath is going in and breath is going out, he observes, and only towards the nose. That's a very good one because it calms the mind. The first 4 days, especially, the mind gets completely calm. And since we are not talking to anyone, then since there is no mobile, and we have established the precepts, 5 precepts, samatha becomes very easy. Okay, that's the best thing, best medicine ever. If our mind is agitated, or if the mind is excited, if the mind is worried, if the mind is in fear, if the mind is in concern, because the breath is the one which creates problem. Actually, it doesn't create a problem. The mind is associated with the breath. So breath has 2 portions. One portion is the normal breathing, which is what we call taking oxygen for, that is the Jivita Indriya. That one is having the oxygen. So you have life source. Secondly, the major one is the mind. In the Hindu tradition, they call it as prana. Okay, that is vital force. So that also connects to the mind. So mind-body interaction is through the breathing. So we breathe heavy when we are in excitement, we are going for a job, or we are going for a first day job, or getting an interview, or whatever it is. And also when you're getting promoted. See, I go and sit and my manager says that, you know, you are getting promoted. That excitement of promotion, that excitement of salary increase will make my breath change. So I'm excited. I want to go here, there, run around, talk to my friends, tell them that, look, I got promoted and all that. So this is the one which we can observe, but we generally not observe. So Ānāpānassathi is about Sati. Sati is remembrance. So we remember to watch the breath change from one to another. This is what we need to do. So the Buddha's meditation of Ānāpānassathi and the other Ānāpānassathi is that the other Ānāpānassathi is very good when my mind is completely agitated. It is completely disturbed. There is no way I can repair it. When I say repair it, is that somebody has come to my home and I want to do this class, and somebody has come to the home and he wants to talk to me. Now I cannot end this call, nor I can talk to him. Now there is agitation. That is called as udacha, restless. Now to solve restlessness, I need to go for samatha. That's the only way. I cannot do vipassana. Not possible. It's not going to work. Now what Ānāpānassathi Buddha is talking about in the Ānāpānassatisutta is for bhikkhus. There's a huge difference between a bhikkhu who is in a sangha and a lay follower who is doing many things. So the clarity what we need to have is, when we read the sutta, is it for a bhikkhu or is it for a lay follower? And the differentiation is there in vibhanga. In the vibhanga, jhana vibhanga, like what we spoke about yesterday, he explains what is a bhikkhu. So all of that what is said is for a bhikkhu. That doesn't mean that lay follower cannot do it. He didn't say that. But it is slightly difficult to do that way what Buddha is saying. So the vipassana of Ubakin, or that Burmese meditation technique, is very good. Because in 4 days, if you were to really give your 4 days and sit and look at the breath at the nostril, what is coming, the heat is coming or whatever is coming, you keep on watching. It completely makes the mind pure. It releases the tension. But the problem with that method is, after I come from the retreat, when I interact with the world outside, I cannot do it because I need to go back to the retreat. That is the only disadvantage I can see. So then in that case, is there a possibility for us to do as per Sutta? Yes, there is. So Buddha explains the same Ānāpānassathi in 16 steps, called as Ānāpānassatisutta. Now, there are many traditions which have come up on Ānāpānassathi, which is good. Absolutely nothing to say that one is not good and one is not bad or whatever it is, because there are two problems here. Number one is that if I hate a tradition, let's say, it causes an immediate hindrance, nivarna, curtain. What is that? Vyapada. Okay, now if I love it, it causes another hindrance, kamachanda. So both are a problem. If I say I am a supporter of this and that and I believe that it's the only thing, then I am in problem. Because Buddha says even you have to drop Buddha Dhamma when you want to become an Arhat. You can't hold on to it. It's just like a raft. You are taking it to cross the river, not to put it on your back. So in the Mahatanhakaya Sutta, he asked all the bhikkhus, are you sure that you know that the Buddha Dhamma is for crossing the river and not to hold it on your back? Yes, Bhante. Good. Again he asked, are you sure that you are not carrying this on your back? They say, no, we know it. Okay, good. So, going with tradition, going with even Buddha Dhamma, and then saying that this is my Buddha Dhamma, is going to be Kamachanda. Let's see, it sticks in both ways. If I hate it, Vyapada. It will not allow me to go further. That is, if I want to end the journey, want to reach the shore, the other shore, which is Arhat, shouldn't hate, shouldn't like. Both are extremes. So what should I do then? Is the question. The answer to that is, you have to use prudence. You have to use it as a tool. What is the tool? There are two tools available today, which is very good. One is the Burmese tradition, where my mind is agitated and I cannot do anything. There's so much of disaster happening in my family. I don't know what to do. Best thing, very best thing, go and join Vipassana. Simple. Wherever it is, go and join. So let's say many people have died in my family. I'm not able to sit. I am having hallucinating feeling at home. I'm not able to sleep. I'm not able to sit. I'm not able to talk. I'm going to depression. Which is the best place? Immediately book a train and flight or wherever, whatever. Go to a Vipassana center and enroll. There's nothing more better than that. Because now I cannot apply this Buddha Dhamma like what I'm trying to do now. I open up the sutta and I say, okay, so satova, sati, so my mind will not take anyone of satova, patova and all that. I require some teacher and I have to sit in front of them or whatever it is, and then I have to listen 4 days. Then the mind is relaxed. So this is good as samatha. It is there. Buddha says samatha and vipassana both have to be developed. So this is good. What Buddha says is that you do it all the time. Don't just do it in a short course. Now the question comes, how do I do it all the time? So if you read the sutta, he doesn't talk about closing the eyes. He says sit erect, fine, but he doesn't say close your eyes. He says observe, be mindful, be aware. That's what he says. He doesn't say you close your eyes. Otherwise he would have said close your eyes. Now there are two ways of seeing it. One is, yeah, what's the wrong in closing the eyes? Yes, it's good to close the eyes because then you are internalizing. But the problem is, if I were to apply it in all the situations, it's not possible. So now I have an exam. Now can I close my eyes and then do this? No, not possible. I have to open my eyes. So when I'm writing the exam, I have to do that so satoba assasati, satoba passasati. Then I have to open my eyes. So what Buddha says is that observe your breath. Don't forget to observe the breath. Breath has 3 dimensions to it. First dimension is it has arising and passing nature. Anicca. Every new breath is a birth, every old breath is a death. Let's take it that way. Arises, passes away. Arises, passes away. So satova assasati is that in that sati, I am observing the breath is going up and coming down. It's not the same breath. It's not a different breath. It is just a breath. It's the first dimension. Second dimension. If something arises and passes away, it should be dukkha. If something was staying, then there was no problem. If breath is coming and going away, it is dukkha. So now I see the dukkha satya. 4 noble truths. The first noble truth is understood. Why? As the breath is going, so my age is going. And when it is going to stop, I don't know. When the breath is going to stop, I don't know. So whatever there in the mind will get manifested. This is second. Third dimension. Anatta, not mine. I cannot claim this breath is mine. If it was mine, I would have held it comfortably, not get aged at all. That means I won't have become an infant also. I won't have entered into the womb also, because from the womb entry only the breathing has started. So that means I am in a very helpless, hopeless situation. So what I need to do is to observe the breath with anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha. Asubha is, it's not good. The sign is not good. Why? Because I am aging continuously. So jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha, vyadi pi dukkha, maranam pi dukkham, like that I am able to see. So when I do that, when I really do that, what is that it is going to happen? The breath will slowly stop. But I am alive. This is what I need to do. So when I say stopping the breath, it literally stops. But you are alive. So then we can see the Jivitindriya is there, but the mind is not there. That's the beauty of this Ānāpānassathi. So we'll go one by one. So he says here, Katam bhavita cha bhikkhave Ānāpānassathi katam bahulikata mahaphala hoti mahanisamsa. And how is mindfulness of breathing? And that's the only thing we can use in English, breathing. Developed and cultivated to be very fruitful and beneficial. Ānāpānassathi has no English translation. So we have to put as breath. So he says it's when a bhikkhu has gone to wilderness Now this is about bhikkhu, but we are not bhikkhu, so we are becoming bhikkhu or bhikkhuni. Or a root of a tree or to an empty hut. They sit down cross-legged with their body straight and established mindfulness, or rather remembrance, right there. Of what? What to remember? So satova asasati, satova pasasati. They are mindful to an extent, or they are remembering to an extent of breathing in, and they are remembering that they are breathing out. In a tension environment, the breathing in and breathing out will not be there. Okay, so that clearly shows that the mind is out of control. Then dhigam va asasanto dhigam asasamiti pajanati dhigam va pasasanto dhigam pasasamiti pajanati, and we have spoken about pajana. Okay, so there's no point in again going to that. So what is pajana is to develop the end-to-end observation. So janati is to know, pajanati is to completely know. What am I completely knowing? I am completely knowing how is my breath. So it is either long, dhiga is long, tall, or it can be even put as a heaviness of breath, which makes it long. Whenever the breath is heavy, you feel it long. Whenever the breath is light, you feel it short. So when the mind is completely in pain, do manasa, the mind, the breath will be long. When the mind is in so manasa, the breath will be short, which is light. So it will be small. To an extent, there is no breath. That means when the mind is equanimous, there is no breath. So what he does is, he watches whether the breath is heavy, and they know I am breathing heavily. No need to know why am I breathing heavily. That creates another problem. I am acknowledging, knowing it, pajana. Jana is to know, paj means to completely know. So I am completely knowing that the breath has become heavy. Now, after I start watching the breath, what happens? It turns light. If you become an observer, mind runs away. If you are not an observer, mind rules everything. It's like, and that is what quantum mechanics is all about, wherein you put an observer, it goes as a particle. If you don't put an observer, it goes as a wave. So mind goes in a wavery pattern, and we can see it. It goes on different ideas, different emotions, and different thought stream and all that. So the person would know that now my breath, this breath, not my breath, this breath has become light. So when I touch below the nostrils, it's very light. The voice is very calm. So how do we come to know? If a person is in anger, is excitement, or is in pain, or is in some other emotion, we can see that his voice also raises accordingly. So if I'm a listener, listening to a talk, listening to that person, there is an irritation in my ear. That shows the person is breathing heavily, meaning there is some disturbance in his mind. If the person, when we hear, whether available on the face to face, or through a voice on the phone, we are able to see that he is very calm. His voice is very lowered, equal. It means that his breath is light. Now, it need not be negative, it can be positive also. I meet a friend, I'm very excited, again my breath is heavy. So the objective here is to make the breath light. Now, why we should make it light? This we need to know. Generally, I think Suyog and Preeti would agree with me that we have come with a fixed number of heartbeats. And it's up to us whether to extend our life or reduce our life. Suyog, what do you think?
Yes, but it's like heartbeat changes with the emotions and all.
Correct. So then let us say we have 1 crore heartbeat. If we were to have tension, doesn't it increase the number of heartbeats?
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
the lifespan will decrease.
Yeah. So let's say our heartbeat is connected, which is always connected to breathing. So as we breathe heavy, our heart has to pump more faster. So our BP is going to increase. So what we need to really understand is that we have around 15 breaths a minute. That's an average number of breaths. So that turns out to 60 minutes and something like 900 breaths. And in 24 hours, we are taking 21,600 breaths, which you have already spoken out earlier. But this is the Sati what we need to bring. That I have a fixed number of breathing. I can reduce it, but if I increase it, what happens? I'm burning away my life. So if I was supposed to stay for 80 years, I am, by my excitement and whatever, I am burning away the candle much faster. So the eventuality of a heart attack or a heart failure or that is cardiac or brain hemorrhage or some other kidney or lung or whatever going totally destroyed is faster. It is created by emotions. It can be a positive emotion or it can be a negative emotion, but both will create the same problem. So it's not going to allow for an equanimous way of staying in life. It will make things exciting, and the moment I get excitement, my breath has changed. So this Ānāpānassathi is too good in that way, provided we are able to see anicca dukkha anatta on one side, and on scientifically we can even put the number of breaths and keep on measuring our breath. Immediately, if you start watching in any situation, forget the retreat kind of situation, any situation, the breath becomes very light. So it's called as rasam. Rasam means small. Rasam also can mean light. Rasam va asasanto, rasam asasamiti pajanati, rasam va pasasanto, rasam pasasamiti pajanati. Now, when I do this rasam, understanding the lightness of the body, a nice body feeling will start. So the breathing will be from top of the head to the toe of the feet. You can feel one breath totally going through the head to the feet, in breath, out breath, from head to feet is the out breath, feet to head is in breath. In one single breath, you can see the entire body coming, entire body going. So here, sikhati, he learns. There it is pajanati, here it is sikhati. Now you have to learn to watch it. When I watch it, I find head to toe exhalation, the body completely goes away. There is no body. Then when I start watching the in-breath, the body comes in, and then the body goes out, and the body comes in, and the body goes out. Sabbakaya pati samvedi asasi sameti sikkati, sabbakaya pati samvedi pasasi samesi sikkati. Because of this body coming and going, anicca nature of the body itself, it creates a fantastic vibration, or can be called as sensation, or can be called as whatever name we want to call. Okay. So in Pali and Sanskrit, it's called kampana. Kampana means slight shaking you can find in your body. So you can really see something is moving inside your body from head to toe and toe to head. So you are experiencing the entire body is breathing, not only the nostrils, your entire body is breathing. You can watch it. And it's such a nice thing to do. Now after some time, he does a passam bhayankaya sankharam asasisameti sikkati. Passam bhayankaya sankharam pasasisameti sikkati. Here what happens is the breath stops. It stills the body movement, and the body movement is happening due to asapassa. The kaya sankhara is asapassa, that itself stops. So there is no body movement at all because there is no breath. If somebody were to put below your nostril, there is no breath, but you are alive. But there is no breath. Now when that happens, you get piti. The joy, what is coming in the first jhana, comes here. So he says, Pitis patisamvedi asasisameti sikkati. Piti patisamvedi pasasisameti sikkati. They practice breathing in joy. So in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. It's only joy. Why? The breath is so subtle that there is no breath. Then chitta sankhara patisamvedi asasisameti sikkati. Chitta sankhara patisamvedi pasasisameti sikkati. Chitta sankhara has two: perception and feeling. Pati samvedi. Pati is bonding. Samvedana means feeling. So you are feeling neutrality. It's just a feeling. There's no I am feeling or this feeling or that feeling. Just a feeling and just a perception. Now when I do this, Passam bhayam chitta sankharam asasisameti sikkati. Passam bhayam chitta sankharam pasasisameti sikkati. Now passam bhayam means calming. The chitta also gets calm. So it gets into nirodha. Doesn't arise. So when that does not arise, chitta patisamvedi asasisameti sikkati. Chitta patisamvedi pasasisameti sikkati. Now the chitta has its own vibration. Pure. Chitta to vinyana, that one. Now it's only pure chitta. This is what everyone experiences as infinite consciousness. So almost you go onto the infinite consciousness. And because of that, you get abhipamodayam chittam asasisameti sikkati. Abhipamodayam chittam pasasisameti sikkati. Your mind is so glad, so glad. It is completely relieved of its pains. There is no longer any pain. Body pain is not there, mental pain is not there, nothing is there. And you are very glad. And that glad feeling is called as abhipamoda. Pamoda means glad. Abhipamoda means excessively glad. Now the person is in samadhi. So he says, Samadham chittam asasisameti sikkati. Samadham chittam pasasisameti sikkati. Now he practices being in samadhi. So what is samadhi? Is three types of samadhi. Avittakka, savittakka, savichara samadhi. Avittakka, vichara matta samadhi. Avittakka, avichara samadhi. Now he is in the third samadhi, which is avittakka, avichara. There is no debating on what should be taken as the object, which is already breath, and there is no vichara also on the breath. So now it is in pure samadhi. So when they are in samadhi, vimocha happens. Vimocha means free, freedom. Vimochayam chittam asasisami iti sikkati. Vimochayam chittam pasasisami iti sikkati. In the in-breath, out-breath, however little it is a freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from conditionality. Asankata happens instead of sankata. And when they see this, immediately they get experience of aniccanupassana. They see everything arising and everything passing away. The world arises, world passes away. People arise, people pass away. Everything is happening. So aniccanupassi asasissami iti sikkati, aniccanupassi pasasissami iti sikkati. So they observe fading away, arising and fading away, arising and fading away of everything. Now, because of that, viraga takes over. So viraganupassi asasissami iti sikkati, viraganupassi pasasissami iti sikkati. Meaning to say that there is, the person is disenchanted of everything. And because of the viraga, he gets into nirodha, cessation. Nirodhanupassi asasissami iti sikkati, nirodhanupassi pasasissami iti sikkati. So because of that, immediately patinisagga happens. So you let go of that bond itself. There's nothing to be bound. Patinisagganupassi asasissami iti sikkati, patinisagganupassi pasasissami iti sikkati. So evam bhavita ko bhikkhave Ānāpānassathi evam bahulikata mahapala hoti mahanisamsa. So this is what it is. So all the 16 steps. So we started with looking at whether my breath is having some kind of excitement. Yes. Long. Yes. Heavy. Yes. Observe, becomes light. And from then onwards, the body becomes calmed. There is no body afterwards. First we will see breath from head to toe, toe to head, in breath, out breath. After that, the body becomes completely calm. There is no breath. After that starts with chitta. Chitta gets frozen, nirodha. And then everything starts with that. So he says, and how is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated so as to fulfill the 4 kind of mindfulness of meditation, which is satipatthana. Katham bhavita cha bhikkhave Ānāpānassathi katham bahulikata chattaro satipatthane paripureti. How does he fulfill that? Yasmim samaye, at that time. Bhikkhave bhikkhu dhikam va asasanto dhikam asasamiti pajanati dhikam va pasasanto dhikam pasasamiti pajanati rasam va asasanto rasam asasamiti pajanati rasam va pasasanto rasam pasasamiti pajanati. At that time, when I want to get into the Kāyanupassana, I do the same thing. It was normal. Now, even in Kāyanupassana, I'm going to do. So there is a difference here. It's not about closing eyes or anything. All the time, I'm going to watch the breath. Because breath is going away. Life is going away. It's always anicca. It will bring in dukkha. If not today, any other day. If the breath stops, my breath stops, or my wife's breath stops, or my son's breath stop, it's going to cause the same dukkha. Yes, Suyog, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, whenever if I am doing Kāyanupassana, being mindful of the breath will be difficult for me because I am watching my actions also, and at the same time I'm watching my breath. So at the same time I have to watch it. So it becomes difficult, I think.
Your voice is unclear. So can you just
When.
yeah, go ahead.
Now it's clear.
Yes, it is now very clear.
I'm saying that if while doing Kayānupasana, I'm watching my actions, hand moving and like feet moving, anything. And with that, I have to also watch my breath. So being mindful of the two things at the same time will be difficult for me. So how to go about it?
No, this is what that Sikhati is all about. See, now I'll tell you what. Initially, see, when you're walking, you just keep on observing the breath. Don't call it as long breath, short breath, or whatever it is. Just keep on watching the breath. Okay. It calms down. Whenever you watch the breath, it calms down. Then slowly you can add anicca, dukkha, anatta in that. So then you are with the breath. You got the point?
Yes, but then that is what I'm saying. But while doing, while walking, I can focus on my breath. But at the same time, I cannot focus on my hand or on my feet that I am walking or I am like moving my hands. That is what I'm saying. Then how to go about it? How to concentrate on?
No. You can't do that. So first you focus on your hand and legs and other things.
Okay.
That is connected with the breath. So here the two things that should be learned. One, he says, is that Sabbakaya pati samvedi asasi sameti sikhati. This is sikhati, means to learn. This is where we have to learn. Meaning, should be able to watch the breath and the body movement, both of them. Generally, we can't. This is where we need to learn. So first we do a sitting meditation, sitting posture meditation, where we can watch the body. Okay. After we get that into a decent level, then we can do walking meditation. Then when we get the walking and sitting meditation of observing what is happening on the breath, then we can be normal, wherein we can bring in the anicca there. Then it becomes very strong, very intense meditation. But this is what we need to learn, Suyo. Meaning we have to practice this all the time. Then it becomes a second nature. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
So this is the difference from a retreat and doing it on your own. In the retreat, what happens is that you sit for 4 days. So there is absolute good thing that is happening. You're not talking, you're observing your breath. That's the best thing that can happen. But then that doesn't work when we are totally engrossed in the world, when we come back. So for that we have to learn. Otherwise we have to keep on going to the retreat to fix the problem. So he again repeats the same thing, that Sabbakaya pati samvedi asasi sameti sikhati, Sabbakaya pati samvedi pasasi sameti sikhati, Passambhayam kaya sankharam asasi sameti sikhati, Passambhayam kaya sankharam pasasi sameti sikhati, Kaye kayanupassi bhikkhave tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijjado manasam. Now here we need to make a shift. Shift to where? Shift to the true meaning of Atapi, Sampajano, Satima, all that, which we learnt in Satipatthana with Vibhanga. Otherwise we will not get it. So again, Atapi, there are so many meanings what Buddha talks about, but we have to take one of them for our practice. So he says that Tata Katamam Atapam. What is the meaning of being ardent? Yo chetasiko virya Viryarambho, Nikamo, Parakamo, Uyamo, Vayamo, Usaho, Uso, Solhi, Thamo, Dhitti, Asithila, Parakamata, Anikhita Chandata, Anikhita Dhurata, Dhura Sampagho, Viryam, Virindriyam, Viryabalam, Samma Vayamo. So the best thing to take here about Atapi is Samma Vayamo. That's the best out of the eightfold path. Take the Samma Vayamo than any other meaning, because other meaning will really distract the mind. So what is Samma Vayamo? Two are on removing the kusala, akusala, and developing kusala. That's all. That is Samma Vayama. So if we are able to remove the akusala, which is the 10 immoral deeds, and in its place replace with 10 moral deeds, then we are in Atapi. So once we are there, he uses another simile to that. Imina atapena upeto hoti samupeto upagato samupagato uppanno samuppanno samannagato tena uchati atapi iti. So with this order means effort, he is endowed, truly endowed, having attained, truly attained, being possessed, truly possessed, and furnished with it. So if I am able to develop the dasa kusala in place of dasa akusala, that means my atapi has happened. Then we come to sampajanya. Sampajano means awareness. Sampajanya means full awareness. Tata katama sampajanam. He talks about sammadhitti. Simple. So we have to take that only. We don't have to go through the other one, like the definition of sampajanyam. He talks about panya, panindriyam, panya padam, panya sattam, panya pasado, panya aloko, panya obhasam, panya pajhoto, panya ratanam, and all that. It is full of Pali, gets a person totally confused. So better is sammadhitti. There we took samma vayamo in atapi. Here we are taking sammadhitti. And Sariputta explains sammadhitti in the Sammadhitti Sutta. Better to go through that and take one of them. Which is the one of them? Since we are taking Atapi for removing immoral deeds and adding moral deeds, we can take the same thing in Sammadhitti. Sammadhitti Sutta talks about removing immoral and adding moral. He talks about the root, immoral root, and he also talks about moral root. So we can take that. So that becomes Sampajanya. Now he talks about Sati. Now the best thing here is, what is Samma Sati? So the Samma Sati, it's better to Sati, we can take it as Samma Sati, which is 4 mindfulness. Kaya Ānāpānassatisutta, Kaya, Vedana, Chitta and Dhamma. That becomes Samma Sati. So what is the meaning of Sati is Anusati, Patisati, Sati Saranata, Dharanata, Apila Panata, Asammussanata, Sati Satindriyam, Sati Balam, Sati Samma Sati. So the only thing I need to take it is Saranata, which means remembrance. So I need to remember. And remember to watch the body The kaya is the collection, Vedana is the feeling, Chitta is Chitta, let us not make it as something else, as mind. Then Dhamma is Dhamma. So we'll take all of them. Kaya, Vedana, Chitta and Dhamma. To remember what is happening at that point in time. That becomes Sati. Abhijja. Now, what I can think about Abhijja is, before I get into Abhijja, I need to understand what is Loka. Sveva kayo loka panchapi upadana khandava loko. That means for sure it is the world made out of his own body, called as Loka. And the 5 constituents which aggregates, it is upadana khanda. Rupa khanda, Vedana khanda, Sanya khanda, Sankhara khanda, Vijnana khanda. These are what is called as Loka. Abhijja is, I will take one of that. It's better to take it as Nandi, Nandirago, Chittasya Sarago. Enjoyment is Nandi. Nandirago is passionate enjoyment. And Sarago, a passionate mind. What it does is that it doesn't allow me to share anything with anyone because I fear of losing that fun what I'm having. So I can take that for my practice. Abhijja. Domanasam is the mental disagreeableness or mental pain that somebody said something to me and this is not working and that is not working. That mind being very pinching, hitting itself is called as Domanasam. So what Buddha says here is that Ātāpi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijja domanasam. So if we were to understand Ātāpi, samma, vayamo, sampajano is samma ditti, satima, samma sati, vineya is to cut. Vinaya is to look at what that needs to be cut. So let me see. Vinaya is removing, to cut. Okay, so I'm cutting what? I'm cutting abhijja and domanasam. So he says that Vinaya loke abhijja domanasam. Kayesu kayanya taraham bhikkhave evam vadami yadidam Ānāpānassatisutta. For I say that in breath and out breath are an aspect of the body. That's why at that time a bhikkhu is meditating by observing an aspect of the body, that is kaya, which is a collection, keen, aware and mindful, rid of desire and aversion for the world. Tasmat tiha bhikkhave kaye kayanupassi tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati Ātāpi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijja domanasam. So when a bhikkhu practices breathing while experiencing the piti, yasmim samaye bhikkhu bhikkhave bhikkhu patisamvedi asasisameti sikkati piti patisamvedi pasasisameti sikkati. Or in pleasure, sukha pati samvedi asasisameti sikkati, sukha pati samvedi pasasisameti sikkati. Or he is able to experience chitta sankhara pati samvedi asasisameti sikkati, chitta sankhara pati samvedi pasasisameti sikkati. Or he is telling his chitta, which is passam bhayam chitta sankharam asasisameti sikkati, passam bhayam chitta sankharam pasasisameti sikkati. Then he gets into the Vedanasu Vedananupassi bhikkhave tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijya domanasan. At that time, the bhikkhu enters to see the Vedana. And he is able to look at Atapi, Sampajano, Satima, Vineya Loke, Abhijja and Domanasa. As per the definition. So Atapi is Sammadhitti, Samma Vayamo, Sati, Sampajano is Samma Ditti, Satima is Sammasati, Vineya is to cut, Abhijja, he spoke about what is Abhijja. It is having Nandi Rago, feeling the enjoyment of the sensual pleasure and making sure that I keep on enjoying it, that is Abhijja. And Domanasam is mental pain. So all that is gone. The feeling is gone because the Kaya collection doesn't have it. The feeling also is gone. So for I say that close attention to the in and out breath is an aspect of feeling. Vedanasu Vedananyataran Anyatara Taraham Bhikkhave Evam Vadami Yadidam Asapassas Pasanam Sadhukam Manasikaram. So now he experienced this mind. Yasmim samaye bhikkave bhikkhu chitta patisamvedi asasisameti sikkati chitta patisamvedi pasasisameti sikkati, wherein he is observing the chitta, he immediately gets into abhipamodayam chittam asasisameti sikkati, abhipamodayam chittam pasasisameti sikkati, where his mind is very much glad and enters into samadhi. And samadaham chittam asasisameti sikkati, samadaham chittam pasasisameti sikkati. Then he gets into vimochayam chittam asasisameti sikkati, vimochayam chittam pasasisameti sikkati. His mind is free. At that time they meditate observing an aspect of the mind which is chitte chittanupassi bhikkave tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijjato manasam. So now he is in chittanupassana. Naham bhikkave mutta satis asampajanas Ānāpānasatim vadami. There is no development of mindfulness of breathing for someone who is muttasa. In Kannada also you have a word called as muttada, meaning a village kind of a person, or a person who is unmindful and does not have situational awareness. That's what he says. So whenever a bhikkhu is practicing breathing while observing aniccanupassi, viraganupassi, nirodhanupassi, patinissagganupassi, at that time they are looking into Dhammanupassana. Dhammesu Dhammanupassi bhikkave tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijjado manasam. So having seen with wisdom the giving up of desire and aversion, they watch over close with equanimity. So yam abhijjado manasam pahanam tam panyaya disva sadhukam ajjupikita hoti. That's why at that time a bhikkhu is meditating by observing an aspect of principles, keen, aware and mindful, rid of desire and aversion for the world. That means he is doing a Dhammanupassana. Tasma tiha bhikkave dhammesu dhammanupassi tasmim samaye bhikkhu viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijjato manasan. That's how the mindfulness of breathing, when developed and cultivated, fulfills the 4 kinds of mindfulness meditation. Evam bhavita ko bhikkhave ānāpānassathi evam bahulikata chattaro satipatthane paripureti. Now he talks about bhujanga also. He says, and how are the 4 kinds of mindfulness meditation developed and cultivated so as to fulfill the 7 awakening factors? Katham bhikkhave bhavita cha bhikkhave chattaro satipatthana katham bahulikata satta bhujjange parupurenti. So when he is looking at the aspect of the body, esmim samaye bhikkhave bhikkhuno upathita sati hoti asamuttha sati sabbajjango tasmim samaye bhikkhuno आरद्धो होति सति संभुज्जंगम तस्मिन् समये भिक्खु भावेति सति भुज्जंगो तस्मिन् समये भिक्खुनो भावना पारिपूरम गच्छति. So first he gets into the awakening factor of awareness, that is sati sabbojjhanga, and he starts to explore what is happening. So he gets into the second one is Dhamma Vishya. Dhamma Vishaya Sambojjhanga. Then he gets the energy to keep on cultivating it. So he gets Virya Sambojjhanga. Then when, because of that, spiritual joy arises, so he gets Piti Sambojjhanga. Then after that he get Pasaddhi Sambojjhanga. He becomes so Pasaddhi, means he feels so light of everything that a heavy burden has been removed from him. Then he gets into Samadhi Bhujjhanga because he is into Samadhi. And finally he gets into Upekha, where equanimity is going to be there. So all the 4 will lead, all the 4 satipatthana will lead into 7 bojjhanga. So first we started with the breath, then that gave rise to the satipatthana, then that gave rise to 7 awakening factors, bojjhanga. So with that he gets rid of everything. So with Ānāpānassathi itself a person can become arhat. So it will take you from Sotapanna to Sakadagami to Anagami and to arhat, if this were to be practiced all the time in all the postures, in all the situation. If we were to practice Ānāpānassathi, then as per this, as per Majjhima Nikaya 118, if we were to practice it, we will become arhat. We will get arhat plus samapatti, because 7 bhujjanga is also going to get established. 4 foundation of mindfulness or remembrance will get established, and we exactly are practicing the 16 steps of Ānāpānassathi. That's all I had on this subject.
So what is the meaning of that Nirodha Samapatti?
Nirodha, Niruddha, non-arising. So no thoughts arise again.
Okay.
No mental feelings arise.
Okay. So that the Arahant stage, they goes to Nirodha Samapatti. What do you mean that?
Nirodha Samapatti means there is nothing to identify as anything. So there is no raga, there is no dvesha, there is no moha in the chitta. And hence it becomes Nirodha Samapatti. So that has to be developed. Any other question? Otherwise, we can end for today.
So due to Ānāpānassathi, we achieve that Arahant stage.
Yes.
Okay. Then why we use practice of jhana?
Pardon, please?
So why we used jhana when we will reach that Arahanta stage in
No.
Ānāpānassathi?
Jhana, as explained yesterday, is the 5 things. That is Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. And we can see all that is there here only. It is not closing eyes and sitting. So yesterday we went through the meaning of jhana in the Vibhanga. Jhana Vibhanga. Jhana means Vitakka, Vichara, Savitakka, Savichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. These are the 5 things. And that whole thing is here only. When watching the breath, we are doing that Vitakka, Vichara, then we get Piti, Sukha, Ekagata, equanimity.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. The problem comes, Kalpana ji, that when we create a scenario or a condition that we have to close the eyes and do, that is the problem.
So when what I can see is for reaching an Arahant stage, there are different suttas or different ways, like we are seeing Upadhana, we are seeing Ānāpānassathi. There are various suttas also which Buddha talks about. So that for reaching a final destination, there are various paths that Buddha talks about.
Yes. You can do various. You can do through Satipatthana is what he says one needs to practice. So we also looked at Bodhipakya Dhamma. That gives you a complete 37 factors of awakening. In that, Bhojjanga is also there. It also has Satipatthana. So everything is included. Nothing is excluded. You can come from whichever way you want. Even with a simple thing like Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, you will reach Arahat. If you keep on contemplating on Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, you become an Arahat. Another one, if you just do Patisamutpada, observation all the time, you become an Arahat. Then there is another strategy. If you look at Ahara, 4 kinds of Ahara, you become an Arahat. So each person can choose whichever he wants or whichever she wants and work on that only. We should not be shifting many things. If we shift to many things, then it becomes a problem. So by now, all of us have to select which one we want to work on and work on that. Okay, then shall we end for today? Namo Buddhaya. We'll then meet up on Monday. Kal we will take one day rest to assess, assimilate all the information. and we'll practice also. Okay, Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya, sir.
Namo Buddhaya.